Hello, everyone. Today, let's look at the second section of the course on development of digital currencies. 1.2 Origin of currency. The birth of currency has changed the way humans trade and has a profound impact on economic development. A long time ago, there is no currency. At that time, the way of trading was barter. It's just like exchanging homegrown wheat for neighbor's eggs. But there are many troubles in bartering. For example, if you want to exchange wheat for eggs, but your neighbor doesn't need wheat, the deal can't be done. And even if your neighbor needs wheat, how many eggs can be exchanged for how many kilograms of wheat? The deal still can't be done. To solve these problems, currency gradually appeared. Today we will explore how currency originated. In this lesson, we will mainly cover the following contents. After learning this section, I hope you can 1. Explain the background of the origin of currency and understand why barter is difficult to meet demand. 2. Explain the definition of general equivalents and give examples of their role in the origin of money. 3. Describe the evolution process of metal currency. 4. Describe the background and significance of the emergence of paper money and credit currency. 5. Analyze the important role of the origin of currency in promoting human economic and social development. What is the background of the origin of currency? Let's explore together now. Barter is a transaction method in which people directly exchange goods with each other to meet their respective needs in the era when currency has not yet appeared, that is, barter. For example, 3 sheep are exchanged for an axe, and 3 pieces of hides are exchanged for several wild fruits. These are typical barters, but it has a lot of problems. 1. Difficulty in demand matching. In barter, only when the needs of both parties to the transaction match perfectly can the transaction be done. You want to exchange wheat for cloth, but the owner of cloth wants grain. If you don't have grain, the deal can't be done. 2. Difficulty in measuring value. There is no uniform measurement standard for the value of goods. Different people have different opinions on how many apples can be exchanged for a sheep, and it is easy for both sides to have disputes because of inconsistent value judgments. 3. Inconvenient to carry items. It will be very troublesome to trade with large or bulky items. 4. It is not easy to preserve items. Items are easy to spoil, cannot be preserved, and accumulated for a long time. Fruits, meat, etc. are easy to spoil, which is not conducive to long-term preservation and accumulation of wealth. All these greatly restrict transactions, which is not conducive to the stable development of the economy. To solve the problem of bartering, the general equivalent appeared. General equivalent is a commodity that everyone is generally willing to accept. It can be exchanged for various other things. Its appearance solves the problems of bartering. People can first exchange items for general equivalents, and then exchange general equivalents for what they really need, which greatly improves the exchange efficiency. For example, in a certain tribe, everyone recognizes shells, so shells can act as general equivalents. There were many kinds of early general equivalents, such as shells, livestock, grain, etc. In coastal areas, shells have become common general equivalents because of their beauty, relatively stable quantity, easy portability, and counting. In nomadic tribes, livestock are often used as the general equivalent. In farming areas, grain is the general equivalent of exchange between tribes. Next, let's understand the evolution process of currency. As the range of exchange expands, the shortcomings of the general equivalent of physical objects are exposed. For example, shells are easily damaged and livestock will get sick and die, etc. In this way, the physical object is gradually abandoned and replaced by metal, which has the advantages of 1. High value. Small amount of metal can represent greater value. 2. Strong durability. Unlike food, etc. that are easily spoiled and damaged. 3. Can be divided into pieces. It can be divided into small pieces of different size according to the transaction value. 4. Easy to store and carry and not easily affected by the environment. Thus, metals gradually replace other physical objects as gyrol equivalents. At first, it was metal blocks and bars. Later, in order to facilitate trading, people cast metal into currency of specific shapes and weights. For example, the round coin with a square hole in ancient China. The Qin dynasty in China has unified the currency to the Banliang coin with round shape and square hole. This shape is easy to carry, and the middle square hole can be threaded with ropes. Copper coins are not easy to wear from rotational friction. Compared with the general equivalent of physical objects, metal currency is more stable and convenient in transactions, can better meet the expanding exchange demand, and promote the further development of commodity economy. Although metal currency is great, it is also inconvenient to carry a large amount of them, especially for large value transactions. So, paper money appeared. The earliest paper money in the world was jiaozi of the Song dynasty in China. People deposit metal currency in banks, and banks issue a voucher. This voucher is jiaozi. With jiaozi, you can exchange metal currency in banks in other places, where you can directly use jiaozi for transactions. With the development of economy and the improvement of the national credit system, modern paper money is uniformly issued by the state and guaranteed by the national credit, replacing private bank vouchers and becoming a more authoritative medium of exchange. Later, with the development of the financial system, credit currency appeared. Like the electronic currency we use now, it is issued and circulated based on bank and national credit, and is more convenient in transaction. It only needs to be transferred through electronic devices to complete the transaction, further improving the transaction efficiency. Next, let's take a look at what is the significance of the origin of currency. Its significance mainly includes the following 4 points. 1. Promote commodity exchange. Make transactions more convenient and efficient, and promote economic development. For example, in the era of barter, if a wants to exchange sheep for cloth, and the owner of the cloth wants food, it will be difficult to reach a deal. With currency, it can first exchange sheep for currency, and then use currency to buy cloth, which promotes economic development. 2. Promote the social division of labor. Make people focus more on the production areas they are good at and improve production efficiency. For example, farmers can concentrate on growing food, while craftsmen focus on making tools, which improves production efficiency. 3. Promote economic exchanges between regions. Different regions can trade through currency and strengthen economic ties. For example, on the Silk Road in ancient China, businessmen from all over the world traded commodities through currency, which promoted the economic and cultural exchanges between the East and the West. 4. Provide standards for economic accounting. Currency provides a uniform standard for measuring the value of goods and services, which facilitates economic management and decision-making. For example, enterprises can calculate costs and profits through currency, and the government can also carry out macroeconomic regulation and control based on currency data. Everyone, the origin of currency is a key step in the development of human economy. It promotes the exchange of commodities, further clarifies the social division of labor, promotes interregional economic exchanges, and also provides standards for economic accounting. Today's lesson ends here. Please finish the exercises. See you next time.